There we are. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're gonna just do a basic mat workout this morning, and I've got some things that you might want to have handy. A ball, or rolled up towel, or even a yoga block for between the knees. Yeah, so all of these are help in engaging inner thighs, which you'll see feed pretty directly into core. Other things that you might want to have are a flex band, or an old pair of tights that you don't mind if you kind of stretch on a little bit. Yeah. Finally, maybe weights for your hands. And if you don't have weights, cans of soup, jars of mayonnaise or honey. There are lots of things, even small water bottles, right? You can hold in your hands and use as a little bit of weight. We are going to start sitting up as we breathe this morning. So if you've already laid down, I'm really sorry. Let's go ahead and sit up. Oh, a final thing that you could use is a little blanket or towel to sit on. I'm going to sit on mine right now. As you sit, and again, you'll bend the knees, you want to make sure that you've got a clear sense of where the sitting bones are. Sitting bones really define the bottom of the pelvis, and you want to make sure that you have a good foundation as you begin to breathe and engage your core. So here's our center. Sitting bones are level. We're right on the top of them. We're going to gently lean forward and round over the legs. Once you've rounded forward, you can rest your head in your hands, on your forearms, on your knees, or whatever. The idea here is to rest the weight of the spine. As the spine rests and softens in this flexed forward position, we start to open the muscles of the back. We'll use the breath to help with that. We'll start inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, just gently around the lips. And keep that basic pattern going. With the forward posture of the body, the inhale should have an easier time moving into the back of your torso. So not only thinking about the spine, but also the spaces between the ribs, and the muscles that go up and down the length of your spine, right and left. And all of the muscles that connect into the middle and the lower back. And there are quite a few of them. A lot of them support the shoulder blades, as well as the back of the pelvis, and even the legs. So a couple more breaths in, where we focus on that opening of the low back, all without shrugging the shoulders or tightening the neck. Of course, the exhale is easy. We soften the belly, we relax across the hips. One more, please. When you've completed this round of breath, go ahead and roll up. And before lying down, we'll hang on to the shins or the back of the thighs and go into a little bit of an extension upward, retracting the shoulder blades. Breathe in as you do this. And then when it's time to exhale, release the extension, and you can pull the middle back behind you a little bit, holding onto the shins or the legs, of course. And do this a couple more times. Inhale, extend the spine forward and upward. And exhale, stretching the outer surface of the spine a little deeper into the back. Once more, allow a little rolling through the hips and some mobility through the shoulders. Feel the whole length of your spine as one integrated fluid thing. Lengthen upward. And then if you're sitting on something, put it off to the side with a towel. You can put it under your head if you like. And we're going to lie back. When you lie back, bring whatever you're using for your inner thigh connection. And I'm going to use a yoga block. You want to rest back in a comfortable position, so don't be afraid to take some time and find that best place. Pardon me. You might want to make sure your weights are nearby. You've got all your goodies, so you don't have to get up and hunt for them. And then once you're comfortable into the ground, have a big breath in. And sigh out this first exhale. You can even vocalize it if you want. Do that another time, especially if you feel a little tense through the back surface of the body or through the throat or chest or shoulders. While we were sitting with our breath work, we focused a lot on the inhale and the feeling through the back of the body. Lying down now, we're going to still feel that the back of the body is open. The inhale can move into that space. But we're actually going to shift a little bit more of our deliberate attention into the core, the low belly, the front of the body. Inhale through the nose and pause for a moment. Feel the big toes on the ground. Kegel lightly, and from the big toes, begin to squeeze the knees together and start to release the exhale. Breathe in when it's time for inhale. Aware of the feet, squeezing inner thighs, Kegel, and exhale. The belly falls in and you feel something under the surface intensifying and firming. So you continue here. Inhale when it's time. You feel your feet. You focus on the breath traveling downward toward the base of the hips. And then from the feet, as you squeeze the block, you contract lightly through pelvic floor. Feel that breath lift up out of the hips and travel all the way past the crown of the head. And please continue. We're going to have probably 3 more rounds of breath here, focusing on the exhale. Remembering, of course, that core is deep underneath the surface of the abs. We're still trying to preserve that feeling of spaciousness in the back body, in the outer surface of the spine. And on that exhale, on that core connection, we add a little spaciousness through the inside of the spine. Feel that the crown lifts off the neck lifts off the shoulders lift off the length of your waist. The waistline is long. And even though the ribs and the pelvis are aligned, there's no compression between them or disruption front to back between them. Have one more exhale, why not? And then we're gonna reach the arms forward to the ceiling and do our little warm up for the shoulders as we often do. So with or without the weights. Reach your arms forward, and something you might wanna test out, I know that I'm in the wrong spot for this, but you wanna make sure that if you open your arms to the side, you're not gonna knock over a bunch of stuff. So quite a few things with the arms here. As I said, we start with the arms forward, and we'll just kind of move the shoulders themselves back and forth. As you exhale and engage core muscles, draw the shoulder blades closer together, squeezing them toward the spine, widening the chest. And as you inhale, push the arms forward, spreading between the shoulder blades. Do that a couple of more times and get a sense of where the edges of your range of motion are. And then we'll settle into the middle of that range, into a neutral position through the shoulders. And we're actually going to start with some triceps presses. That means that the upper arms are going to remain vertical. Prepare here with an exhale, engaging your Kegel, squeezing the block. And then on your inhale, keeping the arms parallel to each other, simply bend the elbows and allow the hands to drop back toward the shoulder tops. Kegel, squeeze the block, and exhale, extend the arms forward, straightening through the elbows and preserving neutral shoulders. Inhale, bend the elbows. Keep feeling your feet, soften your neck and your jaw. From the feet, squeeze the block, exhale, Kegel, and straighten your arms. As you straighten the arms, And you continue here on your own breath pacing. Make sure that you are contracting the muscles behind the arms rather than straining the muscles in the front of the shoulders. That's a pretty crucial distinction. One more. Bending on the inhale. And then exhale. Straightening through the arms. Now we keep the arms straight and we use essentially the same breath pattern. Inhale to begin, and this time we reach the arms back. Keep the triceps engaged as we stretch the arms away. Squeeze the block from your feet, Kegel, exhale, and slowly return the arms forward to their vertical position. Keep that going, please. Again, relaxing, gliding through the shoulders, keeping the triceps active. Exhale, returning. We do just 2 more of these, and as you continue, get a sense of the support of your core for the weight that's reaching away from your center. 1 more, please. Inhale, reach back. Breath moving into the sides as well as the back of your body. And exhale, return to where you started from. Last thing. All right, so now we're going to open and close, and we'll use that same 2-breath pattern. Prepare with an exhale. Soften the sides of the neck and melt the tops of the shoulder blades. As you inhale, continue to feel your feet. Stretch your arms open wide. Feel the biceps as well as the triceps here, stabilizing the elbows, and you'll return on your exhale from this stretch as well. Inhale, opening wide. When you return or close the arms, don't be afraid to use your chest muscles, but be very specific about that. So it's chest and belly rather than neck and jaw. We have 1 more of these. Opening on the inhale. Engaging your inner thighs, complementing it with pelvic floor, lifting that connection upward through the length of your spine out your crown, and then place your arms down and release your weights. Maybe hands to the low belly. We're going to shift gears now, keeping the block and working through the lower part of the spine, actually moving or center. Inhale in place and have 1 exhale. Feel that you are continuous in your connection inside and out, up through the bottom ribs, still relaxed and open through neck and shoulders. Inhale to prepare for imprint, Kegel. And as you exhale, begin to make that imprint. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're attempting to imprint or draw the low back closer to the mat. It might touch, it might not. Release on your inhale. As the inhale breath floods down through the base of the pelvis, the front of your body lengthens towards your hips. Engage inner thighs, Kegel, exhale, and imprint. The belly falls in because core is our first goal. And then the abs contract into a scoop externally. Inhale, breath moving down through the hips as we lengthen. And please continue this. Exhale to imprint. And then easy peasy, roll to neutral as you inhale. Do 1 more time and feel that easy articulation of the hips. Pelvis gliding through the axis of your thigh bones. And then gliding right back out. Pause in your neutral and bring your hands behind your head. So still conscious of the placement of the shoulders. We can move the elbows forward and back a little bit. Very similar to pushing the arms or the shoulders forward and back. And you find that sweet spot where the head and the shoulders are neutral with regard to each other and the rest of your spine. Keeping a neutral low spine and focusing on bending the upper body. Of course, you're lying down. We'll inhale and glide the chin toward the notch between the collarbones as we lengthen the back of the neck. And then soft through the upper spine, begin to exhale and draw the lower part of your front ribs toward the midline and downward toward the pelvis to bend the ribs, lifting the head and the shoulder tops from the mat. Inhale here, feel this as a stretch as you take the breath into the back. And then exhale, lengthen. Feel that you're growing through the crown as you rest back into the ground. Continue here. Nod the chin to the chest. And then exhale, soften through the spine, the upper ribs, and pull the bottom of the ribs inward and downward. And let the muscles in your belly lift the weight of your head and your shoulders without a lot of drama for the neck. Exhale and lower. On the inhale, as you nod the head, you will feel a light engagement through the throat to support the angle at the neck. The rest of the work, however, is done with the abs as you exhale and bend forward. Core inside, both stabilizing the pelvis and connecting you upstream through the length of your spine. Exhale and lower. Please do one more. And when you've lowered, just rest your arms by your sides. And we have one more thing to do lying here on our back before we change it up. So we're going to do some hip rolls. And if the last exercise was about articulating and bending through the upper spine, this is about articulating and bending through the lower spine and really taking it all the way up into the level of the chest and the shoulders. So plant your feet, very important to have good grounding through the legs. We use those as well. Inhale in your neutral. From the feet, squeeze the block, begin to kegel, and as you exhale, move through your imprint. Sometimes it's nice to pause here, check your connection and the muscles at work, and then exhale, begin to roll up further, pelvis rolling around the thigh bones, the tailbone lifts, and as that happens, you press the floor down and start to use the back of the hips and the legs. Coming up further, you're going to integrate with the bottom of the ribs, flexion-wise, feel them coming inward toward the midline and drawing closer to the hips. Now at the top, you'll stretch that connection both internally and externally without breaking it. Breathe in, neutral spine, neutral hip extension, all 10 toes into the ground. And then breathe out, relax the shoulders and the neck. And let the upper spine start to bend again. A vertebra at a time, lowering into the mat. And of course, as many exhales as you need here. Bottom of the ribs drawing in, gliding toward the pelvis, opening the space behind. That connection remains, but stretches as you lengthen into neutral. 2 more times, please. Prepare with your inhale, root deep into your core, and as you exhale, roll it up. Feel a flexibility, a pliability in the way your muscles work inside and out. From the top, you'll inhale and exhale, roll it down. It's a very dynamic exercise. So you feel the different groups of muscles in play, inside and outside, and you allow a conscious change that allows a conscious change in your movement or position. One more, please. And of course, steady under all of that is your breath and your core foundation. Your feet, your plant into ground. After you've rolled down from this last time, go ahead and put the block or the ball off to the side. Stretch your legs long. And we're going to roll over and do spine twist, spinal rotation. You can use weights for this if you like. You want to make sure that you've got good stability in the shoulders if you're going to use weights. You should have good stability in the shoulders anyway. And if you like, you can again put something between the knees. We're lying on our sides. We've got the hips and the shoulders stacked. You can have a little bit of something under the side of your head if that's more comfortable for your neck. And the arms are out in front of you. So it's really easy to slump here or crunch into the neck. Make sure you're using good posture in your side lying position as well. Prepare with an exhale. And as you inhale, you're going to start at the top of your spine to turn the head and to lift the top arm. As you exhale, continue that top to bottom opening. As you open the chest, try not to hit anything. I'm going to stop short. As you open through the length of your spine, but maintaining the stack of the hips and the knees. Inhale, Kegel squeeze the block, and from the bottom of your waist, you're going to start to bring the spine back to square, a vertebra at a time. Here, 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 and here. Continue. Inhale, turn the head upward as you lift the arm, and then opening from top to bottom. Exhale, feel that spiral opening through the length of your spine all the way down into the base of your waist. Hold for a breath and reverse that, starting from the bottom, returning to a neutral spine, one vertebra at a time. One more, please. And we're still lying on our sides. I sit up correctly so I can look at you guys and see what you're doing. Yeah. And when you've returned from this last one, you just make your way to the other side. I'll try and remember to warn you guys when you're continuing where you are versus when you're sitting up. All right, so we're working through our warm-up. We're getting it done. We're going to rotate through the other side. The setup is the same. You know this. Once you've got your shoulders arranged, your head arranged, have a good exhale and really establish core in your side lying position. Sometimes it feels different than when you're on your back. And then keeping that on your inhale, you start to turn the head and to lift the arm. So the head and the arm track together. Continue opening across the shoulder, the chest, the stack of your ribs down into your lower waist. And then hold that open stretch. Inhale. Squeeze the block. Kegel, and exhale, start from the bottom closest to your core and realign into a forward facing position. The arm lowers and you do two more. So a total of 3, please. Beginning with your inhale, that opening process. And then on your exhale, lengthening into stability. So you're using your tensile strength, your length in rotation. Good, you guys, 3rd repetition. When you've returned from this one, come to hands and knees. And I'll wait for you, so no need to rush. Hands and knees, we're gonna do a cat stretch, just to kind of prepare us for extension, honestly. Both with regard to the opening through the upper spine and to how the shoulders relate to that. Yeah, so in your hands and knees, we'll do a little bit of awareness exercise. I'll give you the side view. We want to have that neutral spine and have enough softness in the elbows that the shoulders can adapt or shift their position on the ribs. Well, on purpose, on the inhale, allow the chest to move forward through the shoulders. And on the exhale, push the floor down with your hands and allow the ribs to lift and round up through the center of the shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale one more time. Feel the collarbones spreading. Get your kegel. And exhale, instead of humping up through the upper back or making a hill between the shoulder blades, we find neutral. Inhale in place. And now begin cat stretch on exhale. Start with the bottom of the spine. Move sequentially through the top. And of course, you're looking in a square position or parallel position. Hold and inhale. Exhale, return through neutral. Start at the base of your spine, closest to center. And then inhale, extend the upper back. Here's that extension. Here's the connection through shoulder blades. Release. And do 2 more times. And you're still in hands and knees. You're going through 2 more repetitions. So a nice stretchy thing for the spine, for the shoulders, maybe even for the hips, depending on how much mobility you have through the low back. Also a way of feeling how each individual segment or joint in the spine is relating to the whole rest of it. So the spine is a long structure. After you finish this one, we're going to lie down on our bellies and have the hands sort of this position. So if I'm lying on the mat, I'm going to have this kind of hands up by the shoulders, a little wide, and ideally the elbows are more or less parallel, the forearms are more or less parallel to each other. Now with the legs, we're going to stretch really long. And you might need to scooch around a little bit until the front of the hips are entirely open toward the mat. Pubic bones are down. And we bring the legs close together. Point your toes, stretch behind the knees, and feel again that squeeze of the inner thighs. Pull the legs through the length of the back of the knees and toes and take compression out of the low back. Now this is a constant at this point. We add upper back extension. Inhale, feel the neutral position of the shoulders. Exhale, feel the length that comes from core connection and begin to move the bottom of the shoulder blades down toward the bottom of the rib cage. Allow those muscles to lift and support the upper body. And then retract the shoulder blades lightly, spreading across the collarbones. Inhale here. Exhale and lower. We do this 3 more times. Preparation includes that stretch of the legs. Exhale, get into your core, activate the bottom of the shoulder blades, relax the top, and connect it through the bottom of the ribs, front and back. Stretch all the way up, remembering to spread the chest by retracting the shoulder blades. Inhale and exhale, lower. Please continue through 2 more repetitions. Once you've done your last one, sit back right away into shell stretch. So just one version of extension at this point. So we're sitting back and rounding again. You can also sit up on your hips if that's better for your knees. Get a deep forward curve in the spine. And have a couple of breaths in and out right there. Right, and I said sitting up and rounding here is also a good version of shell stretch if your knees just aren't having it this morning. Have a breath in, and then on your exhale, stack your spine up from wherever you are. And we're in the perfect position, more or less, if you get your legs out from underneath you to do half roll back. If you're half roll back, and use it as a way to get into position for the 100, as we did on Wednesday, I think it was. So we'll revisit that sequencing. So here, especially if your hips are tight, you can sit up on a little bit of a cushion or a height. And it doesn't take much to help relieve strain in the hips and make the pelvis a little bit more articulatable. So we'll extend the arms forward once we're on top of the sitting bones. And on the exhale, without doing the full exercise yet, just pull the elbows back. Feel the action of the shoulder blades gathering downward and drawing closer together. That helps to open the chest. And then inhale, extend the arms forward. On the exhale, we'll roll the pelvis now. Using your imprint muscles along with your core to pull the front of the pelvis back away from the thighs. Now stay here, a little something different. We're not going to roll further back, but we are going to lengthen further up. So exhale and feel your crown lifting and the bottom of your ribs growing more connected and lengthening upward as well. Keep this deep connection through the lower half of the spine. Kegel, exhale, and roll back up. 2 more. Inhale in preparation, aware of your arms, softening your neck. Kegel, feel the feet against the ground, and roll back. We have that extra breath out here to feel like we're really drawing the front of the ribs, not into compression or hunching, but into connection. So now we've got that harmonious support. We use it as we roll all the way up. We'll roll back one more time and stay there. So on your exhale, roll back. And then this time, we'll inhale, bring the palms together. And as you exhale, pull the thumbs back to your chest. Feel that connection building into the bottom of the ribs. So we've got a flexion through the low spine. We've got openness through the front of the shoulders, neutral arrangement through the head and the neck. We exhale and twist, turning from the bottom of the waist. Inhale, return through center. And exhale, twist the other way. Inhale through center. Please do 2 more across the sides. Feel one side of the ribs being drawn toward the opposite side of the pelvis. Keeping the head and the shoulders square with each other. And the head and the neck are mostly upright, so that should eliminate a lot of strain on the back of the neck. From center, inhale, extend the arms forward, exhale, roll up, and relax for a moment. And relaxing might mean you let your legs flop to the side or you stretch them out. We'll use our half rollback now to get into our 100 position. So if you're on a blanket or a little bit of a towel, you want to move it out from behind you. You can even stage it up from where you think your head is going to be. And with the 100, I'll cue it with the head up as we flex forward. But if it's healthier for you, for your neck and your shoulders, to lay your head down as we do the exercise, then that's what you need to do. So we've got our knees bent, nothing underneath the back of the hips. Do hold on to either the back of the thighs or the shins. Here, I'm going to hold on to the back of the thighs. Engage the shoulder blades behind and the front of the ribs. And then Kegel, connect it through as you roll back. So we're rolling, we're definitely flexing the lower half of the spine. Feel that the top of the head is reaching vertically. The neck is long, and walk your feet in just a little bit. Come up onto the balls of the feet. And then pushing off one set of toes, you'll exhale and lift the leg up. Do the same for the second foot. Exhale, pushing through the toes, lifting the leg. And it probably gets a little wiggly, and that's okay. We're going to pulse backward through the pelvis. That is a deeper contraction through the low abs. Keep the toes pointing and the knees squeezing. And on your exhale, pull the belly wall toward the inside of the spine, away from your thighs. Inhale up a little bit. Do that 2 more times. Exhale, pull back. Inhale up a little bit. Exhale, pull back. Now stay here. We're going to use that pulling back action to make our position for the 100. Keep the legs firm and squeezing, and exhale, roll the pelvis back away from them. Now this is your chance to keep the head and shoulders up if that's the place you want to work. We're going to bend as much as we can through the back of the ribs in that instance. If your head is down, that's fine. We'll find the ribs as we extend through the arms. Begin 5 inhales. 5 inhales. And 5 exhales. About halfway through, please continue. We want 10 sets of these 10 breaths. If your head is up, feel that the back of the neck and upper back are nearly vertical to again diminish the strain on the neck. You'll have light tone in the throat, but no compression of the chin into the chest. If your head is down, of course, that's a little bit easier to arrange for. Continue to open the chest, release the top of the shoulders, and stretch from the back of the arms and shoulder blades, finishing up probably now, breathing in. Kegel, squeeze the knees, exhale and lower. Your choice. You can hug the knees toward the chest, or you can exhale and put a foot at a time down on the floor. If you're putting a foot at a time down, you want to lower, touching the tips of the toes, and then the ball of the foot and the heel. Lower, tips of the toes, ball of the foot and heel. If your feet are down, go ahead and return to neutral spine. Okay. And then if your legs are still up, go ahead and put your feet down. Return to neutral spine, stretch your legs out long. I'm going to roll over onto the belly again and alternate with some more extension. So we'll be in our prone position. We'll move into breaststroke prep number 2 or dart. Arms are going to be long at the sides. And we're going to arrange the legs in the same way. So as you lie on your belly, stretch. You might need to rock the hips a little bit. Pull the toes long. Long behind the back of the knees and long through the top of the foot. You want to feel those 2 legs pulling together and integrating in a long line under the base of your spine. That'll get your inner thighs and will help with your Kegel. Pubic bones forward into the mat. Have a breath out here and feel that you stretch the crown of your head away from the tips of your toes. And on your inhale breath, pick your arms up along your sides, practicing that neutral shoulder placement as you stretch through wrists and elbows. On your exhale, of course, dig into your core, stretch your legs, and begin to slide the shoulder blades toward the bottom of the ribs. Neck is long and neutral, and the chest floats up, hovering above the mat. Inhale here, Kegel, stretch the legs, exhale, and lower. Allow the arms and shoulders to relax for a moment. And then inhale, place them again, consciously opening the chest, stretch behind elbows and through wrists. Exhale, get into your core. That means inner thighs and Kegel, as well as a stretch through the crown. Glide the shoulder blades, lift and hover the chest. Inhale here, stay here as you exhale, and pull your tail toward the space where your heels are squeezing. Inhale and exhale, lower. 2 more repetitions, continuing on the inhale to lift and place the shoulders. Stretching from the legs, stretching through the hips. Exhale, reach through the crown and bring the upper body to a hover. Not using your neck for this, but using the stronger muscles in your middle back and in your core. Exhale to lower. One more time, please. Inhale, lift and place the shoulders. Exhale, stretch and extend the spine. Have a breath. And then exhale, lower. Sit back into shell stretch, please. And again, sitting up is fine. Bending forward, almost child's pose style is also fine. Have another breath in and out. Moving air through the back. Bring softness into the hips, into the belly. And you'll stack yourself up. Exhaling, bring yourself to vertical. Swing your legs out in front. And sitting on that blanket or towel is fine. I'll warn you when we're changing from that. You can sit with your legs long, maybe with a block between the feet. Back a little bit. If it's better for you to bend your knees a little bit, that's fine. I'm going to try and keep the hips and the feet, the legs all square as we twist the spine. I'll probably run into things. I'm going to scooch over. All right. So we had practice arranging the shoulders and feeling the muscles at the back of the arms. I'd like you to bring your thumbs up towards your shoulder tops and hook them into the front of your armpits. Feel the elevation of the chest. And then Kegel, exhale, firm the sides of the waist as you lengthen them, engaging your core. Keep that arrangement of lifted chest, engaged core, and open shoulders, and extend the arms to the front using your triceps. Now we're going to lift the pinky fingers in just a little bit, externally rotate the shoulders, and open the arms to the side. You've got a long chain of strength through the arms all the way down into core. We'll use this as we twist. Prepare with an inhale. Start at the bottom of your spine and turn a little bit to one side. Moving upward, twist a little bit further. We're using exhales for all this twisting. And then final exhale, go to the end of your twist. Inhale, return through center. Kegel, exhale, turn a little bit to the other side. Each exhale lengthens you, bringing you a little taller as you twist a little deeper. One more exhale to go to the end of your range. And then inhale, return. Continue, please. And none of this twisting should either be initiated by the neck or put a pull or a twist into the top of the shoulders. That's it, you guys. We have another time to each side, so finish the repetition you're on. You do one more. Squeeze a little. Squeeze the block if you're using it. Twist a little more. Think of lengthening through the bottoms of both feet. Twist a little more. Square it through the hips. And then inhale, center. And second side, last time. Return. Hands go down. Interlock. I'm gonna lie back. Block is handy. We'll start from the supine position in a neutral and have a breath out. And then on the next exhale, go ahead and make an imprint. But before actually moving the spine, feel like both ends of it are lengthening away from the center. And then continue that lengthening process as you move the low back, as you continue to integrate bottom ribs. Once you're there, relax the weight of your body into ground. Feel it spreading and stretching. And then calm and soften the shoulders. Come up onto the point of one set of toes. And exhale, just float that foot up. Take a breath. And exhale, same process. You'll float to the point of the toes. Bring the leg up. I'm going to have you put a block between your knees. If it's better between your feet, you can use that too. The block between the knees gives a little space in the inner hips. We're going to try and stabilize the legs and the pelvis. Hands go behind the head, and we do a second set of twisting or oblique work. Not the chin to the chest, lightly engaging the throat without compressing it. And then exhale, stretch through the ends of your spine and bend forward. Take a breath. Start twisting in the direction of your choice from the bottom of the waist. Eventually, one side of the rib cage lifts up. And inhale, return through center. On the next exhale, go to the other side, lengthening the two ends of the spine away from each other. Inhale back through center. And keep that going, exhaling to twist. Head, neck, and shoulders coordinating with each other. Exhale to twist other side. You keep going, and again, I'm going to take a peek at how you're doing. Finish the set you're on, and we have one more round of rotation to each side. Legs steady, inner thighs drawing inward, and outer hips relaxed. Point your toes. When you've returned from that twist to the second side, exhale and rest your head back. Once your head is down, either hug the knees in or lower a foot at a time to the mat. Eventually, we all put our feet down one at a time. Release to neutral briefly. And then exhale, remake neutral. Or remake imprint. It's Friday, man. Okay. If you have your flex band or your extra stretchy pair of tights handy, grab them. I guess we better remake imprint. Sequence matters. There we are. And then exhale and sequencing through the foot, lift a leg to tabletop. As you lift the toes off, as you point through the foot, feel a response in pelvic floor. Do the same for second side. And then I'd like you to put the flex band across the bottoms of your feet.
Both feet?
Both feet. Good question. So yeah, both feet. On your inhale, nod your head. And on your exhale, I'd like you to bend forward. Now you can use your biceps to help. And this is a way of doing double leg stretch. We'll take a breath here and now exhale. Reach the feet away, stretching behind the knees, feeling your center of gravity shift closer to your hips. Keep it there. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, stretch, kegling or squeezing your thighs. And as your legs stretch away, you might be able to bend more through the ribs or lift the head a little higher. Inhale, bend. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, bend. And please do 2 more. That's it. And this is an exercise too that if it's better for you to keep the head down, perfectly valid modification. Once you've returned from the last one, exhale, relax your head back to the mat. Put the flex band off to the side for a moment, but don't ditch it because we're going to use it again. And you can again stretch the legs or lower the feet one at a time and catch your breath. So I know we've all done rolling like a ball, which starts from the seated position and rolls back. Yeah. And then up. We're, I guess you could call this rolling like a ball version 2. It's actually a teaser prep. We're going to be using the flex band around the feet and that little bit of reach through the legs to come on up. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it'll look a little bit like this. So we got our flex band or our pair of tights. You're holding on tightly to it, and I'll cue it a little bit more precisely. You'll start from a good tabletop with good imprint and all that. You'll nod your head. Whoops, my tights are sliding. And then exhale, begin to stretch a little bit through the legs. Bringing yourself up. Now, not necessary to get all the way straight, but if you have that range of motion in the legs, you could do that. And then ta-da, you're in your teaser position, yeah? Which feet? And then you can exhale and roll down. So a little bit more specifically now through the cueing. You've got your flex band or your stretchy tights. You're lying on your back. You're in a neutral if you haven't already made tabletop. And you exhale and very carefully apply your lower abs. Once you're imprinted, the feet come up one at a time and you work through the articulation of the toes and the arches. When you've got that, just put the flex band around the bottoms of the feet. Know that as you go up and down, you might need to stretch and reach through the legs to stabilize your movement. Hold on tight, nod your chin to your chest. Kegel, exhale, begin to bend forward toward the legs and feel the legs stretching forward away from you until you roll all the way up and are balanced on the back of the hips. Inhale here. We're using arm strength and good shoulder position. We exhale and start to roll back down. And again, you can adjust the position or stretch of the legs to accommodate that stabilization of your movement. Again, 3 times, nod the chin to the chest. Exhale, bend forward. Beautiful, you guys. Take a breath at the top, wherever that is for you. And then Kegel, exhale, start pulling the pelvis back. Keep your center of gravity in your hips. Bend through your spine and slowly lower, adjusting the angle of the legs. 2 more, please. Yes. Exhaling. Oh man, so close. 1 more, you guys. Nice job. Don't make this be about your neck. Make this be about how your center relates through your ribs to your shoulders. How the assistance of the legs supports the work of keeping core in your center. Good, you guys. When you're down, put the band off to the side. Lower a foot at a time to the ground. Stretch out long, or really take the stretch of your choice. Right? If it's better to sway your knees side to side, or to just kind of open and close the legs, that's fine too. And then we're going to end with our final extension. So we'll roll over prone. We'll have the forehead resting on the hands. And so one of the tricky things about extension from prone is we can just kind of get tighter and tighter and tighter and more compressed between the outer surfaces of the vertebrae and the spine. We want to make very sure that we use our core and our breath before we even lift the body, before we even extend the spine, to put space into all those vertebral joints, so that as we keep the space in the joints, they will glide at the behest of the muscles as the muscles shorten and then lengthen, right? That way we can strengthen the muscles of the back along with the core without putting a lot of discomfort into the spine. All right, lecture through. We've got our legs. They're stretching long below us. We're going to do a couple more of those hovers through the upper body, and you can bring your hands up with you. We'll evolve it as we finally finish off this set. So here the legs are stretched, bringing the knees through the toes. Point the toes until you feel your arches and calves engaged. Draw the inner thighs together. Lengthen the front of the hips and inhale as you open the chest. Kegel, stretch through your crown. Reach the top of the chest forward and upward and float from the mat. Just a little bit of levitation or hover through the chest wall. The chest is open, the shoulders are retracted lightly. You'll inhale and then exhale and rest it down. Feel on this next one that with the pull of the legs, you're drawing your center of gravity into your physical center in your pelvis. Inhale in preparation, stretch through the legs, exhale, reach, lift and open through the chest. Feel that balance on the front of the pelvis. Inhale here and exhale, lower. Now at first, for this last thing, the upper body rests down. We'll take a breath to prepare. Stretch through the legs and pulling our center into our pelvis, begin to lift the back of the thighs up. Legs are coming to a hover just a couple of inches above ground. You're stretching behind the knee and through the top of the foot as you point your toes. Get longer through the legs, pull them together, and now exhale, begin to stretch and reach and finally lift through the chest wall. And you know that you're not using your neck, you're using the big muscles in the middle part of the back. Feel that balance on the front of the pelvis. And without changing that, inhale, lift the legs and the chest just a quarter inch higher. Exhale, release that. Put length into the spine. Inhale, lift up just a little bit. Really, it's a continuous stretch through both ends that leads into a little lift. And then exhale, the spine lengthens, the core supports. One more. Inhale, stretch, pull long, feel the sides of the waist. And then exhale, lower to a hover. And then finally all the way to ground. Good, you guys. Put your hands to the floor under your shoulders and sit back into one final shell stretch. So we end with our final breathing here. You can sit up to do this, or you can bend forward over the legs from your hips, right? Whichever feels better. Ending as we started, taking the breath into the back. Having strengthened those muscles, now we put a little bit of ease back into them. So that the breath isn't stuck in the throat or the shoulders. It has access to the deep part of the low back and the low belly. And then finally, let all the words go. Don't intellectualize for a moment. Just feel the breath in and out of the belly. One more. And then when you're ready to roll up, have a breath in. Exhale with your hands help as you stack your spine. Sit for a moment, upright gazing forward. Relax around the eyes, but open them. Gentle focus on the space in front of you. Inhale, nice lift through the soft palate, through the back of the head. Exhale, a sense of grounding in the hips. One more breath in. And sigh the exhale out. And nice work this morning. Happy Friday. Good to have class with you. I'll turn the recording off.